Hi everyone, thank you guys so much for joining in for the My Hero Q&A. We have Logan Jackson here. He's the director and writer of My Hero, and so I'm really excited to just talk to him about his inspiration for the movie and kind of all the behind the scenes of doing all that. But I did want to start off by thanking our sponsors specifically for this film, Raise Up SLO, the Wilkins family, and the Allen family. And then also our major sponsors, BHE Renewables, American General Media, and KSBY TV. So thank you guys. We would not be able to pull this festival off without you, especially this year. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So Logan, I'm very excited to talk to you. I love this movie. I've
Thank you.
seen it 3 times.
Wow, that's
So,
a lot. That's
yeah,
impressive.
I watched it like in the screening process, and then I watched it again a little while ago whenever we officially, chose it. And then now doing this interview, I'm like, well, I should probably watch it again just to be sure.
Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
but yeah, so I know that this is a very personal story to you,
Mm.
and I know that there was a lot that you kind of wanted to accomplish, and you were really passionate about making it and everything. So do you want to just kind of give our audience a little bit of a sneak peek into why you wanted to make this and everything?
Yeah, the film is kind of broken up in 2 parts as far as inspiration. My sister is a single mother and she has 2 young boys of her own. And when you're a single mother, you also always have to make tough decisions, which is like, do I leave my kids home alone for 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 10 minutes or even an hour? Whenever you're doing that, you're putting yourself and the kids at risk. But it's a tough choice that you have to make because you don't have that luxury of another companion there to help you out. And so I wanted to kind of highlight that to show empathy towards the single mothers and maybe people that have a better understanding of what they go through. And then also, the film was dedicated to my friend Brandon Elliott, who passed in a very similar situation without giving away too much.
Well, thank you. Um, on both of those topics, I think it did an amazing job of just kind of showing the realities of, because I think there's a lot of movies where it's like, oh, the mom leaves the kid, and then it's like, okay, are they gonna burn the house down? Are they gonna, sneak out? Is someone gonna break it? Like there's always kind of a little bit more of an exaggerated thing. And I think
Yeah,
this was a really cool look at like, that's probably what 5-year-old boys
yeah,
do when they're alone together in a house,
for sure.
um, all that. So I thought that that was a really cool just look at the just like mundaneness of probably
Thank
what
you.
goes on. And on that, I wanted to ask, the boys were so good at
Mm.
being so realistic. Was it scripted in those scenes, or like were they just slurping their
Yeah.
cup of noodles and kind of doing improv type situations?
It's interesting. So, I had initially the script was full of dialogue between the 2 kids, and then we ended up stripping away all of the dialogue because what happens is when you give kids dialogue, they tend to come across a little unauthentic, and they're trying to be actors, and they're not really being themselves. And we just want them to be kids, just be boys, be kids. And so we stripped away the dialogue, and we just wanted them to have fun within the script. And so rehearsals wouldn't be an ordinary table read. It would just been is them coming over to the apartment, and I tell them have fun, go crazy in here, make a mess of everything. And so they got comfortable to where they're doing backflips on the couch and wrestling matches, and they're drawing little paintings and putting them up on the walls and stuff like that. So they became really, really comfortable. So when it came down to shoot, everything was just them being in the moment, and they wasn't acting off script at all. They were just having fun and doing these wrestling matches and dance offs. And I gave them little incentives, said, whoever wins the wrestling match or the dance off, you guys are going to get ice cream and pizza. So they were really, really trying to like best one another. And that came across very organically and authentic because it pretty much was. It was just them being themselves.
That's awesome. No, I love that. And I think it totally worked. Like I think it made this sense of like the first time you're watching, obviously, like you don't know what is gonna be the, thing. And so you're kind of watching like, okay, is he gonna break his arm right now? Like, what, like, what's the thing? And I loved that it was so dynamic and so just authentic and everything, because it increased that kind of suspense even more. So I think it really worked.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad it came across for you all 3 times.
Yes, it did. I wanted to ask, because I obviously didn't catch it the first time, but the second time, or maybe I did catch it, I'm not sure, but when the mom is leaving, you chose to film her leaving like behind a man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so the first time watching it, I was kind of like, okay, is this man's going to come back up? He's, or, you know, something like that. But he didn't. So I'm just wondering, why did you choose to, why did you choose to film it from behind him? Was it to kind of divert, or?
Yeah, I think naturally, and when you're in those small communities, those small complexes, and you're leaving kids at home alone and your neighbors start to become aware of it, there's always judgmental people that are just staring and they're just being nosy neighbors. So we wanted to highlight that, to be just give it an authentic feel, because this is real life and this is usually what happens when my sister does those things. And of course, it can always go left, but we decided to shoot it from behind him because we wanted to give his perspective a bit, even if it was for like 2 seconds on screen. I think that 2 seconds on screen was very, very powerful in the direction of the film. So
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. I know that with making this movie, you did want to bring awareness to epilepsy and what to do, like to try to help people know what to do whenever, if they're ever in that situation and someone, you know, has a seizure. So we obviously in the film see Brandon put a pillow under his neck and kind of turn Mason onto his side. I'm wondering if is there a place where people can go and kind of learn more about this and all of that, or is that kind of what you do? Or
oh yeah, that's actually the correct procedure. I'm sorry. This, I mean, I know this Q&A kind of happens before the festival starts, so I didn't know when you guys were showcasing it. So I'm assuming that it's gonna be played after the film.
It'll play after the film.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That definitely changes the whole dynamic of my answers.
I should have made that more obvious. Yes, people will watch this after they've watched the movie.
Okay, got it. Some of them have been doing it before, so I had to be cautious with my answers. But with the Caesar scene, so yeah, like that is the correct procedure, and there's tons of YouTube videos and tutorials on how to do this very simple, effective procedure. And also, you could go to epilepsy.org, and they'll teach you this different procedure as well. But it's very, very simple. It's just elevating the head and turning the victim, I mean, the I guess I could say victim, to the side, and that way they don't choke on any saliva on their tongue or anything like that, and all that stuff that you seen coming out of the kid can kind of roll down to the side as opposed to back to the throat. So yeah, that's the correct procedure. It's very, very simple. So if you see it in the film, that's the effective way to do it. And if you ever find yourself in a situation like that, then hopefully it can help.
Awesome. No, I mean, that's one of the most amazing things about film is just even in these little situations, like someone could be in that situation and then be like, wait, I saw this movie and this, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It is just a source for education and telling these really amazing
That's
stories.
the best case scenario for me. If it can be used as a teaching mechanism. And if I could just circle back real quickly to the neighbor, now that I know it's coming out after the film. So the neighbor, I put that there as a diversion, because I knew that once people seen that from his perspective, and you see a neighbor watching, you automatically you're gonna think something's heinous is gonna happen between that. So you can't turn the film off at that point. It's just a distraction and a diversion. And it was something very, very brief and powerful. So
okay, cool. Yeah, no, because the first time I watched it, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, he's coming back, like, you know. Like, so then the rest of it, whenever they're, you know, jumping on the bed and everything, I'm like, guy's gonna sneak in. Like, when's he coming?
That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm glad that came across.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Do you have any, just anything else you kind of want to touch on with the movie or the behind the scenes? Did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish? Are you proud of the project?
Yeah, I think I am. I mean, I am proud of the project. Of course, like when you're doing film, like there's a saying that there's the film you write, the film you shoot, and the film you ultimately end up with.
Right.
So it just changes every phase of production. And I mean, my original vision wasn't this, but I think it turned into a beautiful mistake. And I love the outcome of it, and I love the reception that it's garnered so far. And people have really been taken to the film, and they've been showing me a lot of love on it. And a lot of people have been reaching out to me who has epilepsy and applauding me for the film and saying that it struck a lot of emotion within them, and they're very grateful for it. And that right there is like the best thing ever for me. So yeah, I think the film is great, is doing great things.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I love that it's hit on so many different things. It hit on being a single parent. It hit on, epilepsy. But there's a way that sometimes capturing something like that, it is helpful for the audience, but then not necessarily helpful for the community that actually deals with it.
Yeah.
And so I love that you said that it has been getting a lot of positive feedback from that.
Yeah. Well, it's I didn't want to I didn't do this film for gimmicks or anything like that, or like to ride a wave or to ride a trend. I know a lot of people necessarily don't create films with their heart. I can't do that. I'm a person that really believes in what I write and what I showcase. So this film has been something that's been writing me for years, since the passing of my friend Brandon, who died in a similar situation. And so I wanted to just do it justice. So nothing was done as far as like, I know this is going to grab this audience attention, or this is going to be like captivating. Like, I really tried to keep it as authentic as possible, and hopefully people seeing that. And so far it seems like they have.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Do you have any new projects coming out, or that you're working on, or has COVID kind of deterred that?
Yeah, well, I wrote a feature, and then since the success of My Hero has just been like unpredictable, I've been getting some doors open and some opportunities. So some companies have approached me. Well, one company has approached me to write and direct a 6 episodic series that I'm currently outlining and working on. So we'll probably get that off the ground. But honestly, I want to do another passion project. I have something else that I really want to tell, and these films for me are kind of just like some closure films, and they help me get things off my chest and release what I have within me. So I want to do another short film or something along those lines.
Nice. Well, how can people follow you and keep up with Logan Jackson and all of the films?
If people are somehow interested and want to follow me, that's great. My Instagram is I am Logan Jackson, and I'm sure you can find me on www.filmlogan.com is my website, and I'll link you to everything else. But yeah, I'm not too hard to find. Some random people have been emailing me somehow and finding me, so I'm out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining for this Q&A. It was such a pleasure talking to you and just finally getting to put a face to the name.
All right, Grace Tucker. See you later.